DeWolf-class offshore patrol vessel is a Government of Canada procurement project for the Royal Canadian Navy that is part of the National Shipbuilding Procurement Strategy. The class was previously referred to as Arctic Offshore Patrol Vessel. In July 2007, the federal government announced plans for acquiring 6 to 8 icebreaking vessels for the RCN. The vessels have been speculated to be modeled on the Norwegian Svalbard class and as of 2007 are projected to cost $3.5 billion CAD to construct, with a total project procurement budgeted to cost $4.3 billion in order to cover maintenance over the 25-year lifespan of the vessels. Lead ship of the class was announced as HMCS Harry DeWolf in September 2014, and an additional 4 ships were named in January 2015. Construction of the ships Harry DeWolf and HMCS Margaret Brooke started in September 2015, at Halifax shipyards. Both ships are expected to be delivered and entered service by spring 2018. HMCS Max Bernays and HMCS William Hall will begin construction in September 2016, with a 2019 delivery date. HMCS Frederick Rolett and the yet-to-be-named 6th vessel are planned to be in service by 2020. Both Harry DeWolf and Margaret Brooke are planned to be retired from service and decommissioned by 2043. Project history. In 2006, Prime Minister Stephen Harper had spoken about building 3 to 4 icebreakers capable of traveling through thick ice in the Arctic Ocean. In 2007, it was announced that the Canadian Forces would purchase 6 to 8 patrol ships having an ice class of Polar Class 5, meaning that they were capable of limited icebreaking, based on the Svalbard class. This announcement was met with some controversy, and the proposed ships have been called slushbreakers by Dr. Gary Stern, a scientist aboard CCGS Amundsen, and Jack Layton of the NDP. However, it is notable that of the 19 Canadian Coast Guard icebreakers currently in service, only 6 have a Polar class higher than PC-5. In 2010, the Arctic Patrol Ship project was grouped with several other federal government ship procurement projects for the Royal Canadian Navy and Canadian Coast Guard into the National Shipbuilding Procurement Strategy. The NSPS announced on the 19th of October 2011 that Irving Shipbuilding would be awarded the $25 billion contract for building 6 to 8 Arctic Patrol ships as well as 15 other warships for the RCN over the next 2 decades. In April 2013, the Rideau Institute and the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives released a report on the proposed AOPS. The report was written by UBC Professor Michael Byers and Stuart Webb. The report's conclusion was that Canada would be better suited to have purpose-built ships, namely icebreakers for the Arctic and offshore patrol vessels for the Pacific and Atlantic coasts. In May 2013, the CBC revealed that the projected cost of the design phase of the project was many times what other countries paid for similar ships based on the same Norwegian class for design, construction, and full-up operational deployment of multiple ships. Design is usually projected to consume 10 to 20% of the project cost. The projected design cost of the ship class is $288 million, versus an expert cost estimate that they should only cost $10–15 million to design. The Norwegians spent $100 million for the initial design and fielding of the first unit, NOCGV Svalbard. The Danish built 2 ships for $105 million, and the Irish did the same for $125 million. In September 2014, Prime Minister Stephen Harper announced that the name of the first ship in the class would be Her Majesty's Canadian ship Harry DeWolf, named in honor of wartime Canadian naval hero Harry DeWolf, and that the class would be named the Harry DeWolf-class. In December 2014, it was found that not enough money had been projected to cover the cost of building the 6 to 8 planned ships, and that the budget would need to be increased, delaying the signing of the contract. However, in an effort to drive down costs, Irving Shipbuilding could only project building 5 ships with the option to build a 6th only if it came under budget. The budget for the project was increased from $3.1 billion to $3.5 billion to ensure a cash buffer. On the 13th of April 2015, the government announced a second ship would be named Margaret Brooke in honor of Margaret Brooke. During the Second World War, Brooke, a Navy nursing sister, was decorated for her actions during the sinking of the passenger ferry SS Caribou. The third ship will be named Max Bernays for Chief Petty Officer Max Bernays, who served aboard HMCS Assiniboine during the Second World War and was decorated for his actions during the sinking of the German submarine U-210. The fourth ship will be named for William Hall, a Victoria Cross winner from Nova Scotia who was the first black person to be awarded the VC for actions during the Siege of Lucknow. The fifth ship will be named for Frédéric Rollet, a French-Canadian sailor of the Royal Navy who, during the War of 1812, commanded the ship Lady Prévost at the Battle of Lake Erie. On the 18th of June 2015, it was reported that the construction of test modules for the lead ship of the class Harry DeWolf was underway. Full construction on the first ships then began on the 1st of September 2015. Design. The vessel's design was initially intended to incorporate a conventional ice-breaking bow for cruising, and would have proceeded backwards for breaking heavy ice. The vessel's stern would have been designed for ice-breaking, and they would have employed azimuth thrusters for propulsion and for chewing through resistant ice. However, due to cost constraints, a conventional bow-first design was chosen for both light and heavy ice-breaking. The propulsion would be provided by diesel-electric twin shafts with bolt-on propellers, similar to existing Canadian Coast Guard icebreakers. The vessels will have a hangar and flight deck capable of employing and maintaining the same maritime helicopters as the RCN's other vessels, the CH-148 Cyclone when it enters service with the Royal Canadian Air Force, as well as the CH-149 Cormorant. In 2008, a contract was awarded to BMT Fleet Technology and SDX Canada Marine to assist in developing technical specifications and a design for the project. The technical specifications were to be used to draft a request for proposals. The government later awarded a design contract to BMT Fleet Technology and SDX Canada Marine to develop the design of the vessel for issue to the selected NSPS proponent. The ships will be built in 3 large mega-blocks, center, aft and bow. Each mega-block will consist of 62 smaller building blocks. The first steel will be cut in September 2015. The ships are designed to displace 6,440 metric tons. They are capable of outfitting multiple payload options such as shipping containers, underwater survey equipment, or a landing craft. The vessels have a 20-ton crane to self-load, unload, and a vehicle bay to carry vehicles for deployment over the ice. The design also calls for an enclosed cable deck and forecastle to better cope with the Arctic environment. On the open sea, the ship has fin stabilizers to reduce roll that are retractable during ice operations. Propulsion and Power. The class is designed to be powered by two 4.5-MegaWatt main propulsion engines. The vessels of the class will also have four 3.6-MegaWatt generators. Armament. In August 2015, it was announced that BAE Systems had won the contract to provide up to 6 modified 25mm Mk-38 cannon for the class. This contract also covers the service life of the weapons. Since in September 2015, it was announced that the ships would be outfitted with Sagem Blue Note navigational systems. On the 7th of October 2015, Thales IFF system was selected for use on the class. Ships in class.